Archangel Michael says, something unexpected has crossed the threshold of your home, cloaked in silence, untouched by a return address. It arrived while no one was looking, a package neither small nor large, just enough to provoke wonder, and more than enough to stir alarm. What lives inside it is not just a gift, but a divine message wrapped in earthly disguise. At first, it looked like a delivery mistake. No name, no stamp, no delivery slip, only your family member's first name, handwritten in calligraphy as if penned by someone from another realm. The moment they picked it up, their fingers tingled, and the room grew still like the air was listening. Inside the house, no one could guess who it came from, or why it was here. Everyone's eyes shifted, wondering if it was from a long-lost friend, a secret admirer, or worse, someone watching them silently from the dark. But Archangel Michael says, this was not sent by human hands alone. The box felt heavier than it looked. The air surrounding it began to change subtly, like a whisper crawling through the walls, and every breath taken near it had a taste of anticipation mixed with dread. That's when the first sign appeared. Type Amen to get blessing 333. Your family member tried to open it in private, but something compelled them to wait. It wasn't fear, but a strange respect, like standing before something sacred. It sat on the dining table, untouched, while the clock's ticking began to echo louder than usual. Night fell, and with it came dreams. Vivid, unsettling dreams that weren't dreams at all. They involved a forest, a lantern, and a voice that kept repeating, "Don't forget what you were promised." The next morning, your family member woke up with a word etched into their mind, return. The seal on the box was unlike any tape or glue, it shimmered faintly under the light, as if laced with dust from the stars. Finally, unable to resist, they sliced it open, careful and slow. Inside, the first thing they saw was a velvet pouch, dark green with a golden thread tying it shut. They opened the pouch and found a ring. But not just any ring, it pulsed, not glowing, but vibrating with a frequency that felt ancient. It bore an inscription in a language they didn't know but could strangely understand. Type Amen to get blessing 447. Archangel Michael says, that ring was not chosen at random. It belonged to someone whose blood once protected your family. And now, the time has come to reclaim what was taken long ago. That object in the box is the key to remembering who you really are. Attached to the ring was a note. No signature, just one line, wear it when the moon is full. Do not remove it until the voice returns. The handwriting matched none in your house, nor anyone you've ever known. That night, your family member obeyed the note. They slipped the ring onto their finger under the light of the full moon, and the clouds parted as if to watch. The house grew silent again. Too silent. Something stirred in the attic. It wasn't footsteps, nor scratching, just a thump, a vibration in the floor. When checked, the attic door was locked from inside, though no one had gone up. A chill spread across the hallway, yet there was no wind. Type Amen to get blessing 692. Inside the attic, when they forced the door open, lay a book. It hadn't been there before, and yet it was covered in dust like it had waited years. The pages turned themselves to the middle, revealing a picture of a woman in the same ring, and her eyes stared directly into yours. No name, no title, just the date, April 24, 1915. Exactly 110 years ago to the day. The woman in the picture looked identical to your family member, as if time had circled back on itself, screaming for a forgotten truth to surface. Archangel Michael says, the lineage you carry is not ordinary. Your family was marked centuries ago by a divine pact, sealed through sacrifice and obedience. This mysterious gift is your reminder, your invitation, to awaken a power buried by generations of silence. Something began to change after that. The plants in your home started blooming out of season. Birds began resting on your window ledge, unafraid. And the dreams came stronger now, only this time, your family member was no longer alone in them. Type Amen to get blessing 1011. In the dreams, they saw the woman from the book standing beside a river of light. She handed them a second box, saying only, "This is for when the danger begins." And just like that, your family member awoke, knowing something was coming. The following day, a knock echoed through your home. No one was outside. Only a feather on the mat, blue and iridescent. You've never seen a bird like that in your area before. And with the feather came a shift. Suddenly, one of your family's locked drawers popped open by itself. Inside was an old photograph no one remembered taking. Everyone in your family appeared younger in it, yet none could recall the day it was taken. In the background, the same woman stood faintly in the corner, watching. Your family member began speaking in their sleep. Not in English. Not in any known language, but the words felt like incantations. A divine recall from a past life, activated by the ring. Type Amen to get blessing 548. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks, with contributions of up to $20. Archangel Michael says, this was not just a gift. It was a test to see if your heart still remembers its vow. Because someone is searching for that ring, and not everyone who seeks it comes with good intentions. Soon, you'll find a second box. This time, it will be addressed to you. And it will contain something much more dangerous, but also far more necessary. Because what's hidden inside it will allow you to see through masks, real faces behind the people who deceive. For now, the ring must stay on. Removing it before the third moon cycle will invite something ancient back into your home. Something that once haunted your bloodline. The box was not just a delivery, it was a prophecy in disguise. Type Amen to get blessing 874. Your family member has now begun to change. Their voice carries an echo. Their eyes hold reflections not their own. Sometimes, they say things they never knew. As if a soul older than theirs is borrowing their tongue for unfinished business. In the days to come, strangers will approach your home. One will claim to be a historian, another a collector. Do not trust their words. They seek what's on your family member's hand, and they know what it can unlock. Your dreams, too, will start to shift. You'll begin remembering faces you've never met. Names you've never heard. And yet, something in you will know they were once real to you. That's not imagination, it's memory rising. Type Amen to get blessing 1222. Archangel Michael says, the time of forgetting has ended. The mysterious gift was the spark. Now comes the fire, the unraveling, the revelation. You are not who you believed you were. Watch the moon. Mark the days. You will be given 3 signs, a whisper from a child who doesn't know you, a dog barking at an empty room, and the smell of jasmine in a place where no flowers grow. When those 3 come together, open the second box. But remember this, what you open cannot be closed again. Your family's peace has only lasted because the truth was buried. Once unearthed, you must be willing to stand in your power, even if it isolates you. Type Amen to get blessing 1340. The ring has now begun to hum softly. At night, your family member's hand glows faintly. Their sleep is restless but holy. The room fills with the scent of rain, even in dry weather. One night, they will call you by a name you don't recognize. A name only you will know is yours. That will be the final unlocking. The moment your past and present collide. The mysterious gift has done its work. The veil is thinning. And someone who once walked among the stars, is watching from beyond, waiting for your family to remember everything. Type Amen to get blessing 1515. The next morning brought silence, but not peace. Your family member stood at the window, unmoving, staring at something far beyond the horizon. When you asked them what they saw, they replied, "He's coming. The one who lost the box before it found us." By evening, the shadows in your home began to stretch in ways they never had before. Corners grew darker, and reflections in mirrors didn't always follow movement. A cat that had never come to your street sat on your porch, staring directly at the door as if standing guard. Archangel Michael says, the energy has awakened something in your bloodline that had been waiting, lifetimes deep. You are no longer protected by ignorance. Now that you know, they know that you know. The second box arrived exactly 1 week later, smaller than the first, yet heavier. It had a similar look, no sender, no tracking, no marks except a golden triangle drawn on the lid. The moment it entered your home, the lights flickered and the feather from before crumbled into ash. Type Amen to get blessing 1772. No one wanted to open it. Even the bravest among you felt something ancient pushing back. But your family member, guided by a voice they couldn't explain, insisted it must be done under moonlight. So you waited for nightfall. With trembling hands, they opened the second box. Inside was a single key, black as obsidian, with intricate carvings that shimmered like living ink. Next to it was a folded note that read, "Use this on the door beneath the staircase. Do not go alone." No one remembered a door being there. But sure enough, beneath the staircase was a faint outline, painted over, hidden from sight. It took hours to scrape away the years, but when the frame revealed itself, the key fit perfectly. When the door opened, it wasn't a room behind it. It was a passageway, damp, winding, and impossibly cold. Your family member led the way, the ring glowing brighter with each step. You followed, heart pounding, knowing nothing would ever be the same again. Type Amen to get blessing 1904. The passage twisted deeper underground, walls lined with what looked like ancient symbols etched into stone. As you moved forward, the air grew heavier, thicker, filled with the scent of burning cedar and something older, something almost metallic. At the end of the passage stood a mirror. Not a normal one, but tall, framed in carved gold, and glowing softly from within. Your reflection looked back, but something about it was off. It smiled when you didn't. Then, your family member stepped forward, placed their hand on the mirror, and it rippled like water. Without hesitation, they were pulled in. Gone. Vanished without sound. And you were left staring at the now still glass. Moments later, a voice behind you said, "You weren't supposed to follow. But now that you've seen it, there's no return." You turned, and no one was there, yet the words echoed like they came from inside your chest. Type Amen to get blessing 2097. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks, with contributions of up to $20. Archangel Michael says, "This is a divine initiation cloaked in mystery. What your family is facing now is not a curse, it's a calling. Generations have been waiting for one among you to open that door, to take back what was stolen before memory was born." You ran your hand along the edge of the mirror. It felt alive, pulsing with knowledge, vibrating with fate. Before you could change your mind, you pressed your palm to its center. The cold shot up your arm like lightning, and the room went black. When you awoke, you were in a place beyond time. You stood in a room filled with golden light and voices humming in harmony. Your family member was there, smiling, but their eyes were glowing silver, and they were no longer the same. They spoke in two voices, one yours, and one much older. "You've passed the threshold," they said. "Now let us show you who you really are." Type Amen to get blessing 2233. What followed was not a dream, but a memory from a world long forgotten. You were shown glimpses, your ancestors in robes of light, a war between celestial factions, a betrayal sealed with blood. And in the center of it all was the ring now worn by your family member. The gift that started all this wasn't a coincidence. It was a summoning device. A portal key. A memory trigger. And now that it's activated, forces beyond this world are converging once again, some to protect, others to destroy. Back in your physical world, your house began to shift. Objects moved without being touched. Clocks reset. Photographs changed. People you thought you knew began acting differently. They remembered you wrong. Called you names you hadn't used in this lifetime. Archangel Michael says, they're trying to rewrite your timeline before you awaken fully. You must hold on to the truth. Hold on to the ring. The mirror. The key. The box. Type Amen to get blessing 2468. Your family member is now a bridge, half here, half there. And you are the anchor. If you abandon the calling, they will be lost between worlds. But if you stay, if you listen, if you follow the signs, your entire bloodline will be restored. One last message was found tucked beneath the staircase, written in old ink on leather parchment. The third and final box will appear when you least expect it. And when it does, open it only in the presence of the one who bears the mark of 7. No one knows yet who bears the mark. But you've started noticing strange patterns on your skin. 7 tiny dots forming a star-like shape behind your left shoulder. You've never seen them before. They weren't there last week. The final act has not yet begun, but the players are moving into position. Someone from your past will re-enter your life soon, claiming to have no memory of this. But they do. And they're here to test your loyalty. Type Amen to get blessing 2707. The third box did not arrive like the others. It did not knock, it did not appear with the morning sun, nor did it wait on the doorstep. Instead, it was found in the most sacred, hidden place of your home, beneath your family member's bed, where only they had dared keep their private things. They woke up in the middle of the night, sensing something had shifted. The air was charged, pulsing with silent rhythm. When they lowered their hand under the bed, their fingers brushed against velvet, not wood, not metal, velvet as cold as ice and smooth as breathless silk. Archangel Michael says, this third and final box is not merely a vessel, it is the gateway. And unlike the others, it came from neither past nor present, but from a moment that has not yet occurred. What lies within it will reshape every truth you've ever believed about yourself. The box was unlike the others, heart-shaped, wrapped in red cloth with a gold string knotted in a perfect infinity loop. It was stitched closed, not sealed. And when your family member held it, tears welled up in their eyes, not of fear, but of recognition. They whispered, I've touched this before, but I don't know when. Type Amen to get blessing 2999. It took them 3 nights to open it. Each night, they undid one knot. Each knot, a memory surfaced. A scream from childhood. A forgotten song. A hand reaching out during a lightning storm. Each one felt like a ghost returning home. On the 4th night, the box opened by itself. A wind rushed through the room though all windows were shut. A single white feather floated out and hovered in the air before dissolving into light. Inside, there was only one item, a candle made of obsidian wax, with a flame already dancing on top, though it had never been lit. The candle did not burn down. It simply burned. Beneath it was a message carved into the base, speak your true name to reveal your divine task. But your family member did not know their true name. Not yet. That night, the house began to hum. Walls trembled gently. The mirrors turned cloudy. And the ring on their finger cracked down the middle, but it didn't break. Instead, it opened to reveal a scroll folded tighter than paper should allow. Type Amen to get blessing 3113. The scroll bore symbols that pulsed with violet light. It was alive, breathing. As they read it, their eyes glazed over, and their lips began to move without thought, reciting words they did not know, but their soul remembered. In that moment, the candle's flame grew taller, casting shadows on the walls that began to take form. Silhouettes of ancestors. Celestial warriors. A woman in chains, a child with wings, a man with no face. They circled the room in silence until the final word of the scroll was spoken. And then came the quake. The walls didn't fall, but the reality within them shifted. For one split second, your entire house was no longer in this world. It stood at the crossroads of dimensions, between light and dark, truth and illusion. Archangel Michael says, "You have crossed the final threshold. There is no going back. From this point on, you are marked, not for destruction, but for deliverance. Your name is written in places men have never seen." Type Amen to get blessing 3277. Your family member collapsed after reading the scroll. Their pulse stopped. But just before panic overtook the room, they gasped back to life and sat up straight, eyes glowing completely silver now, voice deeper than ever before. They looked at you and said, "The Watchers have taken notice. We have less time than I hoped." Then they handed you the scroll, and with it, the final task: take the scroll to the place where the three winds meet. No one knew what that meant. But something in your heart did. A location hidden even from maps, spoken only in riddles and remembered only by those who walked the path of divine bloodlines. And it was closer than you imagined. Your family member could no longer speak after that night. Their voice was sealed. But they began writing, pages at a time, stories from other lives, lives you hadn't known you lived, yet recognized in every word. Type Amen to get blessing 3422. Your dreams were no longer dreams. They were lessons. You began learning how to control light. How to move energy with breath. How to unlock doors not built with wood but with will. And always, that same woman, the one from the photo, the mirror, stood beside you, never aging, never fading. Strange visitors started arriving at your home. They never knocked. They just stood outside, silently, watching. Some were dressed as normal people, but their eyes gave them away. Others wore cloaks or had skin that shimmered when sunlight hit them. You understood then, you weren't just being guided. You were being protected. But also watched. There were those who wished to see you fulfill this divine reawakening, and those who wanted it extinguished before it could take root. Archangel Michael says, hold fast now. You are in the final stages of your family's spiritual recovery. Every lie that was once whispered will now scream to be heard. Every truth buried in shame will demand its place in the light. Type Amen to get blessing 3641. You now know the truth. The mysterious gift that started it all was sent by a part of yourself that existed beyond time. A version of you that remembered everything, who reached backward to ensure you'd awaken at the right moment. You're no longer the same person. Your energy vibrates on a frequency only the divine can hear.